Here's a great way to embellish your Yudu garments, and this is called a foiling process. With the foil process, we're going to screen print a foil adhesive through an 86 mesh screen onto any color of garment with our Yudu print. Now, then we're going to take it over to the heat press after it's slightly gel cured and heat press a foil on top of that. Foil comes in a variety of different colors, so that's going to give it a bright metallic or bright bold look. That is a really great way to embellish garments for a low cost. So now we're going to do the process. This foil adhesive is actually a Plastisol ink, so that's why we're going to print it through a little bit lower mesh screen because it's a thicker ink, and then also it has some adhesive granules in it that actually need to transfer through that low mesh. This ink will not dry until it's flash cured, so you can leave it in your screen over the printing process. After that, we're going to take it over to a flash dryer. Flash dry the ink for about 10 to 15 seconds just to tack it up enough. You don't want to completely cure the ink. And then we're going to take it over and heat press it and heat press the foil. And we're going to do a couple different foil transfers over there. So once our shirt's in place, we're going to flood the screen with the foil adhesive. The important part to note here is that you do want a lot of foil adhesive to transfer onto the garment. Not too much, but you do want a fair amount. So we're going to print this twice each time. We're going to flood it and then screen print 1 and 2 passes over the garment. Now I'll lift the screen up and you can see the foil adhesive printed nice and consistently throughout the garment. Here's the foil ink after it's been printed. So you can see it's got a clear look to it. Now you can also use this ink as a kind of a gel because once this ink is cured all the way, it won't wash out and kind of give it that gel look. So it's a great monochrome color on black or white. Kind of gives it that iridescent look. So it's not only good for foiling, but it's also good for other purposes. Now once this ink is now that this ink is printed, we're actually going to cure it. It doesn't want to cure all the way, so we're going to cure it with a flash dryer and gel cure it for 10 to 15 seconds. Okay, once that's cured for about 10 to 15 seconds, we do want to test it. It should be slightly tacky. If it's not slightly tacky, you might have overcured it. Typically, it's not rocket science, so you can overcure it slightly, but the best thing to do is to have it be slightly tacky. This is perfect and ready for foiling now. Now we're ready for the foiling process. We're going to be using a small heat press. This is 11 by 17 heat press. Heat presses obviously also come in larger sizes. This is a 16 by 20 over here. Now a small heat press is a great investment for your business because it not only can do foil printing, but it can do inkjet transfers, it can do sublimation, it can do vinyl plot transfers, and you can buy screen printed transfers to heat press on your garments. So this heat press doesn't cost much more than your Yudu unit cost originally when you bought the Yudu unit. It's a great investment to do all sorts of things with your business. Now, with the heat press, we're going to set our heat press settings to 320 to 330 degrees, and we're going to use a fairly heavy pressure, so kind of a medium to heavy pressure, meaning that when I press down the heat press, it doesn't want to be very light, but you don't want to really super have to press hard on it. Now, as you can see, foil comes in all a different range of sizes and colors. Now, these are all 200-foot rolls and 12 inches long, but it comes in blue, silver, gold, black, red, purple, copper, and all sorts of different cool colors. Foil is actually a fairly inexpensive process to do. A roll runs about $20 to $30, and the roll actually is, on your shirt equals to be about 10 to 15 cents of foil. Now a foiled shirt, once it's done and you see this foil process actually completed, can sell for double or triple what a standard printed shirt will. So it's a great way to embellish and enhance the value of your garments as well. So now let's go ahead and do the foiling process. To foil a shirt, you take a roll and properly cut the size of foil that you need for the size of print you're going to be foiling. Now this amount of foil right here is about 15 cents. Foil actually is the consistency of basically your kitchen foil, but it has two sides. It has your matte side, which is your adhesive side, and it has your foil side. When you put your foil onto your garment, you want to put your matte side down and your foil side face up. The adhesive side sticks to the foil adhesive underneath the heat press, and then the face up side is what actually shows up on the garment, so bright and shiny. Let's go ahead and do the foiling process now. Once my foil is in place, I put down the heat press. This is once again 325 to 330 degrees, and you're going to heat press it for 10 to 15 seconds. The heat press process is actually heating up the foil adhesive and then bonding the foil to the adhesive below it. Now that our time is complete, we're going to take off the heat press, lift up the lid, and then we're going to let it cool down. You do not want to peel it hot. So we're actually going to take a shirt and slightly go over it to kind of diffuse the heat and help the foil stick to the adhesive. Once it's cooled down for about 30 seconds, now it's time to peel. Here we have our completed foil print, bright, vibrant in color. Once again, this only costs us about 15 cents to produce on the shirt, and something like this can double or triple in price over your standard screen printed garment. It's a great way to embellish those things. Now let's show you a couple different ways to print your foil and a couple different effects that you can actually do using multiple color foils on your print. For this print, we're going to be using two colors of foil. We're going to be using gold foil and red foil. Just cut the foil to length and place it on the parts of the image where you want it to show up. You can get really creative with this. Use 3 or 4 colors. Use colors between the inside of images and the outside of images, and have some fun with it. So once our foil is in place, we'll do the heat press process. Once again, 325 to 330 degrees for about 10 to 15 seconds. Now the heat press process is very important that you get a proper amount of pressure. If the heat press does not press down hard enough, then there's not enough pressure to stick the foil to the foil adhesive below. Also, remember that you want to make sure that you get a thick amount of foil adhesive on the garment. If it's not printed thick enough on the garment, there won't be enough adhesive on the garment for the foil to stick to it underneath the heat press. So now that our heat press is done, let's lift it up. Let's let the foil cool down. We'll diffuse the heat with a shirt once again by rubbing it over it, and then let's peel. Wow, look at the vibrance and quality of this foil print. This is once again a great way to get creative, have fun, and embellish your garments to get more value out of the garments and give your customers something unique and new. Foiling is very fun to do, it's affordable, and it's a great way to enhance your garments with your Yudu machine. Now, one last thing, once this is actually peeled, we're going to heat press it one more time to just set the foil in place. So we're just going to take this over and we're going to use a Teflon pad to protect the garment, and then we're going to heat press it. We're not going to put all the pressure down on the press, but we're just going to heat press it for about another 15 to 20 seconds. It helps set the foil for a final cure and helps ensure the longevity of the foil print. So now that our foil print's ensured, let's explain how foil actually lasts over time. Now, because you're actually printing a foil adhesive and then transferring that foil on top of the adhesive, it does start to flake off in the wash. But the way it flakes off is it actually kind of distresses out, kind of peels off in small particles. So it actually looks really cool. And we typically, we sell tons of this, thousands of rolls of foil per year. Don't really have any complaints from customers saying that, our foil washed out of our shirt. Because the way it looks really cool and distresses out. So even though it doesn't last as long as a Plastisol printed shirt, it still looks very cool over time. And your customers will not complain about it. So with an affordable heat press investment and screen printing foil adhesive with your Yudu screen printing unit, this is a great way to enhance the quality of your garments, embellish the quality for your customers, and actually get some more profitability out of your business as well. Now we're going to print some special effects inks with our Yudu screen printing machine. We're using our Aftermarket 40 mesh Yudu frame here. Now this 40 mesh allows for large particles of ink to pass through the mesh. So this is actually called a glitter ink. We're going to be using a gold or a silver glitter here. And then we also have a shimmer ink. Now, as you can tell, a shimmer ink has a finer particle. So this would be kind of like your Raider shimmer or your Saints colors. These are examples of market use of shimmer ink. Shimmer ink can actually print through a 86 mesh, but we're going to also be printing it through a 40 mesh here. As you see here, we've put a couple of our Yudu clip art images onto one screen. So I actually used some screen tape to tape off the two images I'm not going to be printing. This star is going to go directly below one of the discharge prints we did earlier and kind of give it a two-tone effect with a couple different types of special effects inks. So I'm going to be using my silver glitter. I'm going to put a fair amount on the screen. And I'm actually going to print this sideways. So I'm going to load the screen mesh here. Get the glitter loaded through the mesh. I'm going to put my shirt down, hold it in place. And I'm going to do 2 passes. Set my squeegee aside here. Awesome. You're going to have fun with glitter because it can really embellish your garments. It does cure the same amount as normal Plastisol, but because it has those metal flakes in it, you do need to ensure that it's properly cured. If it's undercured, it will obviously wash out. This is a Plastisol ink, so we can leave it in our screen until we actually are done printing for the day, and even if we want to leave it over the weekend, that's perfectly fine. Now we're going to cure this underneath the flash dryer for about 45 seconds to ensure it's properly cured. But there you have a nice silver glitter print onto a shirt that was previously printed with discharge. Here we put our shirt on our drying station, and we're going to be using a flash dryer to cure it. And once again, a flash dryer is a great way to properly cure shirts effectively and fairly quickly. This will only take about 35 to 45 seconds depending on how close the flash dryer is. You do want to make sure that you do not flash dry directly on top of your Yudu platen because it is plastic and will kind of warp and melt it. So if you're going to be doing your final cure, don't use that platen. Also, using a laser temp gun that actually measures the surface temperature of the ink is a great way to ensure that your ink is actually properly cured. So I can take this and shine the laser down below the print and ensure I'm getting to the cure range of 320 to 330 degrees, which Plastisol takes to actually cure and completely set for the garment. If Plastisol ink does not cure all the way, remember it will wash out. So it's very important whether you're using a flash dryer, a heat gun, a heat press, or an iron to ensure that ink is properly cured. Now our discharged glitter shirt is properly cured and ready for wearing or sale. Glitter and shimmer inks clean up the same way as any other Plastisol ink. So we're using our Ryonet cleaner and then just clean the screen fairly quickly and easily. Now, because these particles are fairly large, sometimes it's important to really scrub and make sure that all the particle is out of the mesh. That's why using screen tape to protect the other areas of your image that you're not being printed makes the cleanup process a lot easier. Now we're going to print a gold glitter right below our foil adhesive print. So we're going to have, on this one, we're going to have gold foil, red foil, and then we're going to have a gold glitter with stars below it. So we're using different special effects inks on one shirt. As you can see, we taped off the center of our screen, and now we're just printing with the top of our screen. So this one I'm actually just going to pull it. It's just as easy as pushing it. Then you want to hit it a couple times. Really build up that adhesive or that print. Now we have our gold glitter below our other special effects inks, which really, once again, embellishes the quality of the garment and enhances the sale price to our customer. Our final glitter and shimmer print we're going to be doing is going to be over another discharge shirt, kind of up on the sleeve placement of the garment. This is going to be with the shimmer silver metallic. So not quite as big of particles. This could go through an 86 mesh screen rather than using such a low 40 mesh, but right now we're still printing it through the 40 mesh. Once again, you can see that we're kind of sectioning off our screen so we can do more than just one print placement or print image on one frame. So we'll load the screen up. And it's important, since this shirt's actually just placed over the platen, there's no adhesive underneath it, that we get the screen down in one proper placement and then we don't move it. So even though we're going to hit it 2 times, we want to make sure that we hold the screen in place because the shirt's not actually stuck to the pallet. It's just laid over it. And then 2 passes here. And here we have our silver shimmer over our discharge print. So once again, combining a couple different types of inks, a couple different print placements for a multiple color print on our Yudu garment, but it enhances the quality of the garment, really increases the sale price, and printing glitter and shimmer inks is actually really easy to do. The inks cost about the same price as the other Plastisol inks, and it's a lot of fun, and you can really increase some variety for your customers on what they can actually put on their garments when you're printing with your Yudu machines. A heat press can really enhance your Yudu machine. So for about the same investment, a little bit more of an investment that you originally bought the Yudu machine for, you can do all sorts of things. We showed you on a couple other videos on how to do foil printing. We're going to show you right now how to do an inkjet transfer. This is actually called a chromoglass inkjet transfer. You can also buy standard inkjet transfer paper that you can use with your standard inkjet printer. Simply, it's reversed image out. So in your artwork program, you simply mirror the image, and then you put it face down on the garment. Then we're going to use a Teflon sheet to protect the garment. This particular transfer transfers about 375 degrees for 40 seconds. So now we simply count it off. Once our transfer time is complete, we'll lift up the heat press. And this is a hot peel transfer. So we actually take the edge of the transfer and just peel it right off. And there you can see a high quality digital style print on our garment. Once again, doing this with a heat press that we can also do foil with. Another thing that you can do with your heat press is vinyl cut transfers. So this is a transfer that's actually cut with a vinyl plotter out of a heat press vinyl. This transfers in about 10 to 15 seconds and fairly affordable, so it's a great way to embellish like soccer jerseys, any type of jersey for names and numbering, and then also for simple 1-2 color prints. It's a great way to do a vinyl transfer that's actually really easy to do. You don't have to create or burn screens for this, and it's great for lower quantities or those specialty types of names and numbers. You can also buy pre-printed Plastisol transfers for all different sources throughout the country. You can just type in Plastisol, pre-print Plastisol transfers on the internet. You can find a bunch of different providers of those. There's a variety of things that you can do with a simple investment on a heat press. Now find your heat press options available at silkscreensupplies.com and see how adding a heat press for not much more of an investment than you originally bought the Yudu machine to can really enhance your business.